Hello and welcome to the Leggy Sports podcast on the Leggy Sports YouTube channel. We were blessed with an absolutely electric basketball game. We're going in. I was fairly confident this series was done. It was wraps. And I know that is feeling very doomer. And it probably wasn't a good way to go into the game. After getting 2 games stolen by the refs, my first thought was, okay, we got to win. What happens next? We're going to get screwed over in some other way. I have confidence again because this team is showing grit. This team is showing what they've shown throughout the entire season so far. Resilience. This team doesn't quit. They haven't had Isaiah Stewart for 3 games now. And Paul Reed has been one of the MVPs out there. -10 tonight, no points, 1 rebound. But when he's on the court, he is going to play hard. The veterans were really the MVPs of this game. That's a lie. What I meant to say was the veterans were really not great this game. It was going the opposite way there. The young guys were the MVPs when you're talking about Asar Thompson, 22 points, 7 rebounds. 8 of 10 from the field, 6 of 12 free throws. If he hits 6 more of those, it kind of gets rid of the maybe pressure at the end of the game. Cade Cunningham, fantastic second half, very slow first half. Ended up shooting 6 for 17, 1 of 4 from deep, 24 points, 8 assists, 8 rebounds, close to his averages in these playoffs. Overall, winning by 3 points and just winning a game when you're veterans of Tim Hardaway Jr. shoots 2 of 10, 1 of 7 from 3. One of the biggest threes from him. I guess the only 3 from him came right at the beginning of that second half, which really defined this game. Detroit was down, 49-50 at the half. They go on a 10-3 run with Jalen Duren assisting on 5 of those 10 points. An entry pass from Cade Cunningham inside, instantly turns around, gets it right to Tim Hardaway Jr. Absolute dot of a pass. This is what we are talking about when we mention Jalen Duren's playmaking potential and his ability to facilitate and be a hub for this team. He doesn't have to be the only player with the ball because he can make some wacky decisions with it. But if you give him the ball, he's going to make the right play. And we saw it again. It was either the next possession or the one after. Jalen Duren, entry pass from Cade. The defense is already knowing to close out on the shooters, but that leaves Asar Thompson wide open in the paint off the backdoor cut for a bounced pass. Easy slam dunk for Asar there. So great little sequence to kind of... it wasn't even putting this game away. It went back and forth a little bit more throughout the game, but it at least gave the Pistons energy that they didn't really have. We also saw Cade Cunningham get an and one there, get a really good defensive possession on OG Anunoby in that second half, and that's kind of when the game started. It was basically a 0-0 split, only down by 1 point, but that first half was ugly for both sides. And I'm not going to act like this game was beautiful for the Knicks either, because Jalen Brunson, 16 points, way under his average for the series, 4 of 16, did leave with injury late into the fourth quarter along with Josh Hart. They ended up coming in at the end, and I was very confused. They were down by 6. They come in. Mikal Bridges. Where's my brain going here? Mikal Bridges hits a crazy fadeaway 3 from the corner to bring it to a 3-point game. OG Anunoby eventually hits another 3. The craziest play to end the game for me, and we're doing this all non-podcast formatted today, just coming in and talking about the game, some thoughts there. I need to pull up the YouTube chat as well. I've really been appreciating the support we've been getting on these videos. Easiest play to end the game. Let's see. Yep. Okay, here we go. I've been appreciating the support on these videos. If you are liking it, make sure you subscribe, share it, comment. Anything to support the channel. It goes a long way. And I don't even know what my point was at that point. I'm just still kind of mind blown from this game. But I think I went into one point completely shifted to something else. Then it was like, oh, hey, thanks for following the channel. Like I said, there's no order, no rhyme, no reason here. It's 10:56 p.m. I'm up at 5:30 about every morning for work. So, where was I here? Yeah, the Josh Hart, Jalen Brunson injuries. They didn't even look like they were 100% when they came back in. And the game was about out of reach at that point. And that is where you see the effect of Tom Thibodeau in his rotations that he has had since his days in Chicago, maybe even, I'm just going to say back in Chicago with Derrick Rose stuff. He plays his guys a shit ton of minutes every night, and it's going to lead to injuries because the more you play on the basketball court, the more you're exerting yourself to 100% effort, which he requires when you're out in the court, the more likely you are going to get injured. And like I said, game was semi out of reach. I know they made it interesting. Especially, this is the point I was going to get to, the second point. Pistons were up by 3. Cade Cunningham's inbounding the ball. Tries to get it to Malik Beasley. Jalen Brunson almost like flips 180, gets the ball, and he's going out of bounds. He tries to pass it off of Malik Beasley to be Knicks ball. That would have been game. I know the Knicks would have pulled out some sort of sorcery to get the W there. Ends up going out, getting to, was it Tim Hardaway Jr., resulted in free throws. But like I said, the game got put away. It was one of those games where the last 10 minutes takes, or I guess the last minute or two of basketball takes 15, 20 minutes of real time. And those are annoying because, yeah, the Pistons are probably going to win. It's in their favor. But the Knicks, big shot after big shot after big shot, over and over. OG Anunoby this game just kept hitting those kind of big shots. And this is the first game I think he's actually kind of blown up where I've actually known it on the offensive end, 19 points. Another thing is all of their starters with really good input towards towards the scoring column. 19 points for OG, like I mentioned. Josh Hart, 15 points, only 1 of 4 from 3, though. Karl-Anthony Towns, 17 points, only 2 of 4 from 3. The thing with Towns is when Jalen Duren's not on the court, and there were some minutes when he wasn't matched with him, you need to be launching more because you don't need to be inside. I mean, it doesn't even matter, honestly, if Jalen Duren's in there. Kind of rambling on that point. But Karl-Anthony Towns does need more attempts from 3. If you're the best big man shooter of potentially all time, you need to get more opportunities there. And then, where is it? Sorry, I'm just trying to find the page open here. Mikal Bridges, 17 points, one of the biggest threes in the night. 2 of 5 from 3. And then Jalen Brunson, 16 points as well. Mitchell Robinson chipped in 13 points with 8 offensive rebounds. That's the biggest thing with this team is Jalen Duren, although he had, how many rebounds? 14 rebounds, 7 offensive, 7 defensive. He can't really do it alone out there. Usually you'd like to see a little bit more from the backup center position off the bench. Paul Reed with 1 rebound in 11 minutes. I think that's how the minus 10 came about. A lot of offensive rebounds, a lot of second chance scoring for that Knicks team. Dennis Schroeder also was a player that kind of stayed out of my radar this game because he wasn't doing anything crazy, and he was a minus 17, I believe. I just saw, minus 17, still had 14 points. But the key benefactors of tonight, the key contributors, I should say with better words there, Cade Cunningham, Asar Thompson, and thirdly, Tobias Harris. 17 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 of 5 from 3, plus 7. Everybody hated on that contract coming in. But when you're the Pistons coming off 14 wins, you can't be pissed about a veteran who has experience in the playoffs. Maybe not the most positive experience. But you can't be mad about that guy wanting to come back to Detroit. He has the tie because that's where he met his wife. So I just don't understand the hate for a guy who brings some sort of leadership to the locker room. especially because it's more than just the locker room. It's on the court as well. And for the most part, a mentorship role to kind of keep this team afloat. And at some points, this game does feel like, or these games feel like the Tobias Harris show, where it's a lot of Tobias possessions. It's him getting the ball, dribbling in, little fade away from the block. But you live and die by those, because when he is on, he is on. And this is a game where he got hit in the eye. Last game, he was injured as well. But being able to be the primary defender on Karl Anthony Towns, limiting him to, and although this is also minutes without Tobias defending him, 17 points, 5 of 14. So if you're limiting him to only 4 3-point attempts, I think a lot of people are going to assume Karl Anthony Towns is kind of blowing up from 3, but that is not how it went. Karl Anthony Towns was having a little bit of a rough night inside. Only played 34 minutes, and a lot of the minutes tonight at the center position ended up going to Mitchell Robinson, because he was a little bit more of what I think the Knicks were looking for in terms of rebounding, in terms of the inside presence. Because even though he only had 13 points, that's a big 13 points, especially when you're scoring out on 5 of 8. Okay, what does this mean for the rest of the series? And this isn't going to be a super long stream tonight. If you're Detroit, you have to be feeling great, because not only do you not have any pressure going into this past game, I think the pressure even lessens going into the next game. Yes, you're at home. People might say, well, you have to capitalize at home. They've won 2 playoff games. I don't think people understand how insane that is. New York, and we've talked about how they've built that team and how much they've sacrificed to kind of get to where they're at. Detroit could lose, and everyone would be cheering, and everyone could build a statue for Cade Cunningham or Trajan Langdon, JB Bickerstaff after this, and we'll talk about JB as well in a little bit if I remember. The Knicks, though, going to 6 against the Pistons, if they're in LCA and Detroit's crowd gives the momentum push and actually gets Malik Beasley out of his slump, which we've been saying since game 1, well, I guess since game 2 afterwards, Malik Beasley's not been great. Let's just say the Pistons do steal another game. They have to go to 7, and then Detroit absolutely is going to leave everything on the table. The Knicks' aspirations are to go win a championship. Detroit's was to not look like the worst team of all time. Again. So, an absolutely insane turnaround for this Pistons team. And it leads to them having a little bit of wiggle room going into Game 6. And after what happened last game with the non-call on Josh Hart, the Tim Hardaway Jr. jump shot that would have put them up with 3 free throws, down by 1, I was pissed that Detroit wasn't going to get another shot to host a playoff game. But now they're going back home. They're getting 3 playoff games at home, and they haven't won one yet. So this would also be a historic moment for them to be able to pull one out and kind of show it to the world. This is where we're going to call it tonight, about 13 minutes in. Like I said, I appreciate everybody who joins these streams. Looks like we have 3 eyeballs in here right now. Well, I guess 6 eyeballs, 3 people. Can you guys hear my cat? He's freaking out right now. Anyways, I appreciate you all. A little bit more of a just chat rather than a segmented podcast. Just some instant thoughts after this Pistons win. Game 6, man. What a time to be a Pistons fan. We'll be back with more Pistons content coming soon. Make sure to check out the From Half Court YouTube channel hosted by Sean Murphy. We're going to be on there tomorrow. Actually, it probably won't be up tomorrow. We'll be recording tomorrow at least, but we'll have more content on here pretty dang soon. Catch you later.